Now, despite all of the doubt, all of the questions, and all of the issues towards cryptocurrency and its wider acceptance, it does keep making strides. We cannot deny that anymore. The first, of course, big one was when Elon Musk said that people could buy Teslas with Bitcoin. He reversed that decision. But today has been, in a sense, another very important development for those who are watching cryptos very, very carefully. So the nation of El Salvador voted in their parliament today and decided to allow Bitcoin as legal tender in their country. The decision will be finalized in about 90 days. They'll go through their process. And the idea behind it is because that nation depends a lot on remittances from their nationals abroad to move the economy. They want to allow these people to send in their money through Bitcoin. In fact, if anyone invests 3 Bitcoins in the nation, they will even get citizenship. It also perhaps makes it easier for them because they don't have their own currency. They're dependent on the US dollar. But nevertheless, it is a big move. I just want to take you through where Bitcoins are available right now and how you're seeing it happen around the world. So Coca-Cola decided to accept Bitcoin as a payment option in some parts of the Asia Pacific region. Burger King in Venezuela started accepting some varieties of cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin. Home Depot allows Bitcoin payments via in-store checkout systems. Shopify lists 4 crypto payment providers as alternates. Twitch accepts Bitcoin. Pizza Hut in Venezuela accepts Bitcoin. And Starbucks also began experimenting on this in 2020. PayPal, Microsoft, in some parts are beginning to increase acceptance towards Bitcoin. So is this a big move? And of course, what are its implications for India? To speak on this, I'm joined today by Avinash Shekhar, co-CEO of ZebPay, and R. Gandhi, former RBI Deputy Governor, who has been very vocal with his skepticism on cryptocurrencies. Welcome to both of you. Avinash, let me allow you to go first. Do you think this is a big moment for the journey of cryptocurrencies towards acceptance?
Yeah, I think it's a very big moment. I think 2 weeks back, we celebrated Bitcoin Pizza Day, which is celebrated on 22nd May when the first Bitcoin transaction happened and someone paid 10,000 Bitcoin for pizza. I think this event may go into history, one of those kind of events when one sovereign country adopted Bitcoin as its legal tender. So I think it's a very big event for crypto industry.
Dr. Gandhi, how do you look at what has happened in El Salvador? Of course, it's one nation, it's a small South American nation, but does it change the acceptance levels when you have a sovereign nation who is allowing Bitcoin as currency?
Sorry to differ with Avinash. It is not a big moment. Yes, for Bitcoin, not Bitcoin, crypto coins or cryptocurrency zealots. It is a breakthrough because they do get some kind of legal recognition from some country. To that extent, they may celebrate it. That's all right. But I won't consider it is a very big event for the world as a whole. Because there, quite a lot of travel has to be done by the cryptocurrencies to get that kind of acceptance. So that way, in my opinion, it won't make much dent just because El Salvador has accepted this position. That is going to be influencing many other jurisdictions. That is very far-fetched imagination. I won't accept that position. Yes, it gives a little bit extra adrenaline to the crypto zealots. Yes, that to that extent, yes, it is there.
The crypto zealots. That's a new term I've heard. Avinash, okay, now tell me something. In the Indian context, do you see this as a very far away situation? And what do you think it means in terms of wider acceptance? Do you see this first happening in companies across the world? And what are the moves that need to happen to have more faith in cryptocurrencies?
So, I mean, I agree with Gandhi sir that obviously it's a small country, okay, and but I think in our opinion is the first step, and that first step is very, very important. What we believe is that, and what I believe personally is that crypto is, I think, the biggest technological innovations, even bigger than internet. As an industry player, as the people who are sitting inside industry, frankly, I mean, it's a welcome news, but I'm not surprised. And today is the first country. I mean, I believe that next few years there will be more and more countries who will be joining this space. What for India? What we are saying from India is that that don't actually stop the innovations. Don't, I mean, if let's say the government has some concerns, they don't agree, they don't think that this is going to be very big, but still from a innovation point of view, let people innovate, let them experiment with things. Obviously some things fail, some things succeed, but if you don't allow people to innovate, then the country can't move forward. Okay, we believe as an industry player that it is very big, and the government should put a framework in place to properly regulate it and encourage it, so that in the event it succeed, we are leading that innovation. I mean, we believe that it is going to succeed. There is no doubt in my mind. But from a government point of view, if they still think that it is going to fail, which is perfectly okay. I mean, you can be you can have doubts, but you should allow people to innovate.
What are your biggest concerns, Dr. Gandhi, when it comes to cryptocurrencies and more and more investors coming in? We heard from RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das recently, who clarified that there is no change in position on behalf of the Reserve Bank as far as cryptocurrencies go. They, like other central banks around the world, are looking at creating their own digital currencies. But there is no ban as such on anyone dealing in cryptocurrencies as an asset class. Do you think that gray area makes things more precarious for investors?
That innovation, the people's choice should be permitted. That I have consistently been maintaining. The problem that we have with the cryptocurrency is to use it as a currency. That is where the concerns have been expressed by the Reserve Bank also, and I also maintain that position, that cryptocurrency as a currency, as a legal tender, we will have a lot of problem. That risk is definitely there. I will explain a little more about why that risk comes. So beyond that, as an asset class, as a qualified investors to deal in that, possess that, and all those things, I am fully in agreement with that. So on that, there is I have no difference of opinion with what was mentioned by Avinash, and also the innovative technology and underlying technology can certainly be used for very many purposes beyond cryptocurrencies. That is also well understood and well accepted by including authorities, including Reserve Bank, government. Everybody is very clear that underlying blockchain technology, distributed ledger mechanism can certainly be used for other purposes. Now, let me come back to the original question. What is the biggest risk we envisage when we think about cryptocurrency as a currency? Because for a currency to be there, there has to be an underlying. The underlying generally nowadays is the government authority, the government guarantee. That is underlying one. Or there is an underlying value like gold, the olden days gold standard and other type of thing. I mean, even today for issuing currency, even as a legal tender in every jurisdiction, there has to be an underlying government securities or other high-class assets. So here in this cryptocurrency, there is no underlying. There is no underlying. There is no guarantee by anybody. There is it is pure out of thin air. That is where the difficulty comes or the hesitation comes. The risk is there because if somebody is unable to realize the value of the cryptocurrencies, that means that it is an asset. It is not a currency. Just because somebody calls it currency, it cannot be currency. If it is a currency, then underlying value will have to be there. And somebody has to guarantee to pay that face value. So that is where the difference of opinion looks like.
Yeah. I really want you to come in on this, Avinash. The question about why there should be a currency when there is no clarity of what the underlying value is. And second, how volatile it is. One tweet by one individual can rock the values in either direction in such a huge proportion, impacting so many people. Don't you think there is a real concern there to use it as a fiat currency? As an asset class is a different story, as Mr. Gandhi says. But the ultimate dream of quote-unquote crypto zealots is to have this as a working digital currency. Don't you think that these are obvious barriers to that dream?
Yeah. So 2-3 points here and very relevant points. One is that, we obviously, everyone agrees that the currency, as you call it, is a prerogative of the sovereign government. And in case of India, it is the prerogative of the government of India. And that's because people call it currency doesn't make it currency. I totally agree that it's not a currency, it's an asset class where the innovation is happening. On the second point, which is that there is no underlying value. So that I think that's not fair. I'll tell you why. Let's talk about internet. There is nothing physical behind internet, for example, or anything which is online. People are giving tons of services online, and in fact, most of the businesses are moving online. Okay, saying that doesn't have any underlying physical thing is not fair. What I think crypto is building, they are building an infrastructure on internet, and that infrastructure has a significant amount of value. It's like rebuilding internet, but for a different purpose. Okay, so that underlying value is there, and people are paying for that underlying value. There are certain people, till like 10 years back, I said that the value was almost zero. People who are investing in that, not everyone is investing in for speculation. I know people who have not sold in last 10 years, who have bought 10 years and they're only buying from last 10 years. They're hard-earned money. So there is an underlying value there. In terms of volatility, yes, it is a volatile asset class, no doubt about it. Again, you have to see is it's a very young asset class. It's like around 10 years old. So, and the value is like $1.5 trillion. It's like very, very small market cap if you look at compare with any other asset class. So that volatility is because it's a young this thing, and as the asset class matures, as more and more people start believing in crypto, as the base increase, the volatility will automatically go down. If you look at any asset class, when the share market started 200 years back, obviously the volatility maybe was even significantly bigger than what we are experiencing now in.
I seem to have lost your line there, Avinash. I've lost your audio. You're talking about the volatility being significant, but I think I'm going to come to Mr. Gandhi for his rebuttal on your point, where you say that yes, it does have an underlying value. Mr. Gandhi, he compares it to the internet, saying you don't have to have a physical underlying guarantee of sorts to give it value. Do you think it's time to look at these things in a different perspective? Look at the whole trend and rage of NFT. There was a piece of art sold recently which nobody could see. It was just in the artist's mind. So we are in an age where things like this are now happening.
When I said underlying, that is two different things. The way Avinash has understood is different. That is, any asset has a certain value. On that, there's no dispute at all. As I mentioned, that cryptocurrencies is definitely an asset. Somebody calls it valuable. They find it useful to them. They put a value on that and they're ready to buy it at a price or sell it at a price. So that is clearly a value. That is not the value I'm talking about. When we talk about currency, the underlying value will have to be stable within that jurisdiction where it is supposed to be acceptable as a legal tender. So when the government or the Reserve Bank issues 500 rupee note, it is 500 rupees always. Neither it is 500 rupee plus 1 or minus 1. That fluctuation in the asset prices, that is definitely in the cards. That's why they are called asset. They are not legal tender. Any type of asset. Underlying assets can be, need not necessarily be physical. There are any number of non-physical assets, right from trademarks and copyrights. So many things are definitely available, which are definitely not a physical asset. So that way, crypto asset as an asset, I have absolutely no difference of opinion. Rather, that's what I have been suggesting, that it should be recognized as an asset class. That is no problem. Then, as you mentioned, whether it is a picture today, when very often I quote this, M.F. Hussain painting. If you are an art connoisseur, you will be ready to pay 1 crore rupee. But I am not, I don't know anything about art. That for me, that is only just a canvas, piece of a canvas, which is just a 10 rupee worth. So it is in the value is in the eyes of the beholding person. That is certainly is there. So that way value will be different. That is what exactly makes it ineligible to be a currency when the value is fluctuating. Like you can say that a foreign currency value is fluctuating. Yeah. Yes, foreign currency, it is another jurisdiction. In its own jurisdiction, the value doesn't change. In our jurisdiction, dollar value will change. In our jurisdiction, pound sterling value will change. But rupee value will not change. It will ever remain 500 rupee means 500 rupees.
Yeah. So it is an ongoing debate. It is an ongoing debate, and the new leg of it has been opened after what the El Salvador government has been doing. No doubt, it is one that will continue as those who back cryptocurrencies and those who question it are unwilling to change their positions on either side.